Hello everyone, it's Miss Ann again. Let's go ahead and get started for this week's assignment. This week we're going to be working with shape and texture. So this week I'm going to go ahead and try and put this all into one video, and I'm going to be putting dividers in between each section of the assignment. So make sure you are turning in only each section as they're due, and we're going to go ahead and continue on from here. So this week we're covering shape and texture. For this first portion, you're going to be working with texture. Without further ado, let's get down to the table. Okay, so at this point you should have drawn the contours of an animal, whichever animal you chose. Now, obviously, you know what type of animal I'm going to choose because you are my 7th grade class and many of you have had me before, which means you know exactly who I'm going to draw, and that's Bob, the Brontosaurus. Why? Because I like drawing Bob, and he's a lot of fun, and he makes it so that I can draw these things very quickly for you guys. Those of you that I didn't have last year, this is Bob. Now, Bob the Bronto is going to be our example for today. Now, in this case, he is a geometric shape. If you have not geometric shape, an organic shape. If you have not gotten to this point and turned this point in, you need to do so now. Now, after you have this point, we are on Thursday. On Thursday, we need to be going ahead and adding our geometric shapes into our organic shape. So this is how we're going to do it. The first thing you're going to do is you can go ahead and add any extra limbs that you want at this point, but you're going to use geometric shapes to do so. So notice how I went ahead and put a triangle right there just to make this into a rectangular shape. That's what you really need to be doing right now. You need to be breaking these up into regular geometric shapes. So I'm going ahead and I added this limb, and I added a little geometric shape right there. So I'm going to add one more triangle up here. And then I'm going to turn this into another rectangle going straight down. At this point, we are going to continue adding shapes into the design. You are going to be turning and breaking him into your figures into geometric shapes. Now, how those turn out, that's going to get very tricky. So if you put a circle, notice that by turning this into a circle, I have left myself with a curved shape over here that's not going to make a geometric shape. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go in and add more and more smaller shapes into these spaces to make those geometric shapes. And as you break it up, it's going to start looking very, very different from what you would expect your image to look like. So like I said, I kept this space open right here, and you can add eyes if you'd like. Now, this shape right here, I'm going to go ahead and accept that as a good shape, okay? But for the most part, we want to be filling it mostly with geometric, rectangular, or triangular shapes. Rectangles and triangles really work best to give the idea of the geometric shapes that we're working with. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this into a rectangle, put a triangle here, angle, 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 and then I'm going to turn this into a rectangle. And you can darken little spaces just to make it really turn into that rectangle. So triangle there, rectangle here, rectangle here, triangle, this is the point that you should be at by the end of today. At this point, we are going to go ahead and move on to adding textures to our project. What you're going to do is you're going to go around your house, you're going to find yourself a couple of just one or two very textures that you're really, really fond of, and then you're going to use these to color the rest of your project. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your project on top of the texture, and you're not going to color every single square. So you're going to select some very specific ones. I'm going to go ahead and go with green. Actually, this one's almost dead, so we're going to go with red. And you're going to run your pen, draw, and don't move your texture. Just rub your pencil over the top of the texture and fill the spaces up. Now you're going to try and do this without lifting the paper too much. And you make sure that the texture you choose is something that's very blatant, very obvious, and something that's flat. It might take you, it's probably going to take you more time to find your texture than it is to actually finish this project. I'm going to grab a blue, and then I'm going to change textures. So in this case, I'm going to use this mesh. Now, if you don't have colored pencils, that's fine. You can use a regular pencil. That's why we're using multiple different textures. It doesn't have to be in colored pencil. If you don't have colored pencil, that's fine. Don't stress about it. It's okay. If you do have colored pencils, feel free to use them. And once you have finished coloring your project and filling the entire thing in, and you're happy with it, you can go ahead and turn it in. There we go.